Welcome aboard. On this week's episode, we discuss my new Ring Fit exercise regime, the console release of Rust, and it's that time of year again, time we talk about E3. This is Triple XP.
Triple XP.
Welcome all to episode 31. I'm Shane and this is Mike.
Hello.
And this week we are joined by our force-wielding developer, Jedi.
Hey.
So should we get straight into what we've been playing? Jedi, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, sure thing. So I've been playing two things. One of them is, they're both kind of newish games. The first one is Returnal. It's the PlayStation exclusive kind of roguelite game where you're just running around on an empty or an alien planet, shooting things up and constantly dying, replaying, redoing it all over again. Game... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, how are you finding that so far?
The mechanics are rock solid. The game, like the shooting, the audio, the visuals, everything about that is so tight, so good. It feels so well when you're grabbing a different gun or a different set of a different type of upgrades for a run. It feels really good and really tight. The technical aspect of it, though, there were several crashes, a couple of bugs. I like getting trophies, and I think about maybe 3/4 of the way, my trophies just stopped unlocking to the point where I didn't even get the final trophies for completing the game. But outside of that, it feels like a really fun game. $70? Not really sure about that, but it's a really fun experience.
This is one that's like we kind of took the piss out of when we first saw it, when we going back to like a previous E3.
Yeah,
yes,
like just the name.
On the name.
Returnal. It's such a dumb name, and at the same time, because it's a roguelite, because you're constantly restarting and going through it again and again and again, it makes sense, but still a dumb name.
So, obviously, putting your developer head on, you talk about obviously there's some technical limitations there and causing some technical issues. Do you think the crashes are down to the game's attempting too much, or is it because it's a brand new console and they're testing the limits of what they can achieve with that? Like, where do you, when you're looking at these technical elements, where do you think they sit?
It depends. Because of these crashes, these feel like game-specific crashes. The way the game works is there's no saving when you start a run. You just go from point A to the end or to when you die. So it's accumulating so much data, so much stuff to keep you from going to biome to biome to biome. It's a game level. I don't think it's part of the PlayStation. I don't think it's any part of that architecture. It's definitely just the game. Just too much is going on. It's trying to save too much, trying to spin too many plates, and at some point, two things that you're spinning are like, nah, we can't spin at the same time, crash.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I haven't actually got much to ask on this one because I think it looks incredible, but also it's that roguelike experience that Mike's into. So, Mike, I don't know if you've got anything you to ask on this game.
I wouldn't say ask, but it just looks cool as fuck. Like, I think maybe a couple months down the line, hopefully they'll patch out some of the bugs and shit like that and get it. Maybe by the time I've got a PS5, which
one day,
one day. It is sort of one of those games that's like top of my list, really, just because it's a roguelike and it just looks so cool and all the mechanics and everything are solid. So, would you say the bugs, are they like forgivable, or did it completely ruin the experience for you?
A couple of them happened when I was deep into a run, and when you're into a run and you're going through and it's a hard biome, it pisses you off because you have to start from scratch. So for me, it was one of those ones when that crash happened, I was like, I'm putting you down. I'm going to come back to you tomorrow because I do not want to rage and start throwing things across the room. So I would definitely wait till a couple of those bugs get sorted. And then again, the trophies, for me, it's one of those things where I I completed it. I don't want to go back to this game again. If if I don't have to, I should get those, and those should be patched in. Also, just as a side note, I mentioned it, but for reals, wait till the price drops because it's a lot of repetitiveness. I don't consider this a full next gen full price. That's just my opinion on it, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just going back to the trophies, that can be like a game ender for some people. Like when I have a game and I specifically want to hunt the trophies, like if one of them bugs, I'm never playing that game again. So
Yeah,
that
and
can be
for
like
this
a rough
one, it was
ride.
like 3/4 of the way through. All of my story progression and anything else that was kind of accumulating, all of those just stopped. So I'm missing about 6 to 7 trophies that are, complete this level, complete this. And I beat the game, so I clearly beat those levels. Something is just not translating between the game saying it's approved or unlocked, and it's frustrating.
You mentioned that you've got to, you've completed the core campaign. How long is that? What are we looking at?
The core campaign took me, I would say it was about maybe 10 to 12 hours to kind of go through it all. And I don't want to spoil anything, but it 10 to 12 hours to kind of get through the end, to get to the very end, the actual true ending.
So in terms of like progression and stuff, when you die, like one of the big things for me in a roguelike is when you die, like you still have an element of progression, outside of the run.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll do one run and then collect like some. Hades does it perfectly, where you'll go back to like your home base or whatever, and then you'll have like some story progression there. So does Returnal do anything like that, or is it literally just the run and then back to square one?
No, there is some stuff. There are certain things that you can acquire that you keep with you for the rest of the game that don't reset, and those allow you to, once you beat Biome 1, there is now a shortcut to get to Biome 2 without running through all of Biome 1, and then a shortcut for Biome 3. So you progress, you get new equipment, and you can kind of shortcut to where you need to go. But towards the end of the game, you really want to be running through those biomes again to get as much resources as possible to go against the final boss.
Yeah. Risk of Rain does something sort of similar to that, where you'll shortcut through to certain biomes if you want to, which is one of the games I compared it to when I first saw it. It was like Risk of Rain, where it's just chaos on screen, but you just run after run after run.
Yes, and there's one level that I can't get out of my head because it has this haunting music that is just so well done, and I could have stayed there forever, but had to move on. And luckily that one was a main hub where you can cut through to 3 or 4 different biomes. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Who's it made by?
Shit.
It's the same guys that did Resogun, isn't it?
Yes, those guys.
Yeah, that team.
They're kind of a small, like for the most part, for before this game, they were really just arcade games.
Yeah.
But then they said, you know what, after Resogun, they wanted to make something really kind of AAA, and this game really feels like the attention to detail is really there.
I mean, from Resogun to this, that's a huge leap, isn't it? Surely.
Yes.
For such a small studio. So fair play to them, in my opinion. Like, bugs aside, they fucking smashed it out of the park by the sounds of it.
I agree. They did a really great job with this game.
Yeah, that is a huge upgrade from where they've been previously.
So Jedi, if you were to slap a score on it, what would you give it out of 10?
Right now, because of the bugs, I would definitely give it a 7 out of 10. I feel if the bugs weren't there, if there was, I can live with bugs as long as they're not progression killing bugs.
Yeah.
Because they were progression killers, got to dock those few points. 7. If they fix the bugs, I'll definitely jump it up to an 8.
Nice. Shane, what have you been playing this week, man? Jedi, have you got any more to play? Actually,
I was gonna say, hasn't Jedi got bit of
I do have a second one. I have been playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I think someone else on here has been playing that as well. In between work and meetings, I've burned through Mass Effect 1, and then I'm on to Mass Effect, or I've beaten Mass Effect 2. I'm into Mass Effect 3 now. So just reliving that story has been just a joy. Like, sure, the Mako is still a piece of shit to drive and ride, but everything else about the game feels really good, and I'm really glad to get back into it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing it as well, and it is just an absolute pleasure to play again. And I'm glad I waited off and replayed the first one, because I was going to just replay the first one on Game Pass because it's on there. But I'm glad I held off because the upgrades that they did do to it, like, really made the difference.
Yes. Yeah, changing the reticle, changing a couple of the UI, making it a little bit easier and not much of a pain in the ass to go through all of the menus to just do everything. I think it was really well worth it. It is interesting playing it this time. When I first played the game, you can romance people. I'd always romance Ashley. This day and age, I'm like, wow, no, I don't want to romance that big. Give me the blue chick. I'll go with Liara. Liara all day.
Yeah, so I don't know. I never knew you could romance more than there was options for other people in the first one. I thought it was just either Ashley or Caden, and you had the choice to just romance them, but I didn't realise in the first one that you could romance.
I think you could romance Liara. I think if you're a female shepherd, you can romance Garrus, I think.
Oh, right.
I'm pretty sure you can. I'm sure I've romanced Garrus in the past because I always play as female anything. And I'm sure that's an option.
No options for Rex, though.
That's the biggest shame.
Yeah. They could have fixed that.
Right? Give me some Krogan action.
I mean, I'd be into it, definitely. Give it a whirl.
Yeah. Yeah, what? Yeah. All about the Krogan action. That's where it's at, is not? That's the point in playing the game.
I mean, if you're not getting in sack with the Krogan, what are you really doing in Mass Effect?
Exactly.
So
exactly that.
Maybe in the new one they'll fix this clear and obvious issue.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that one. I'm hoping. Yes, give me the new Mass Effect now.
Yeah, it's even excited me for Andromeda. To be fair, I'm like, I'll give that a whirl. Like, I completely skipped over it because of just the reviews and stuff. But I might just give it a whirl. Fuck it.
Yeah, because I'm playing the original trilogy, it just makes sense to jump in and do 4 afterwards because I have it somewhere, so I might as well do it.
Yeah.
You're totally right. It's kind of a, okay, I'm back into the series. Might as well try the redheaded stepchild.
That's such a good explanation for it.
Yeah.
So, Shane, what have you been playing, man?
I've been playing.
You've been playing
Rust.
something, which is good.
Yes, I have found my love of gaming back. With a game that I didn't expect to love.
Love,
which is
that's
Rust.
a strong word, man. Rust.
Well, I mean, right now I'll probably hate it in a week.
Yeah.
But right now I love it, and that's the important thing. So for anyone who's not played Rust before, doesn't know what Rust is, it is it's one of these like survival type games where you like Conan, where you start with nothing, you wake up on a random piece of land, island. I think this one's specifically an island, but yeah, you wake up and you've got nothing but you're a rock and a torch, and you've got to try and survive. It's all PvP. There's no PvE. I mean, there are PvE elements, but there's no PvE specific. It's just PvP. This is the console-specific edition, which came out this week, I believe, on PS4. But I've been playing it on the PS5. So you
show off. Not there at all.
Got to keep getting them in there.
Little fun fact about console sales is that the PS4 has sold more units than the PS5 like this month or something, which is incredible. Like, that's like the PS4 in the UK is the
I mean,
highest selling console
that-
like this month.
that doesn't surprise me, considering it's impossible to get
Yeah.
a PS5 literally anywhere, because they're just impossible to get hold of.
Yeah.
So it's all a bit weird. But yeah. So anyway, you start off on an island. You've got fuck all, and you've got to try and survive. It has hunger. It has thirst, and then you've got your standard health. It's not too in depth with all that sort of stuff. It just covers like the key bits. And then as you go around, you discover like radiated areas, and you need specific types of clothes to go into radiated areas. There's these scientists that are wearing radiation outfits that if you go near them, they just murder you with machine guns. And then also you've got other players. So me, Ryan, and Matt have all got this. We've formed a team. We've built ourselves a little base. And now we're just building ourselves up to find new areas, fight other players. That's pretty much it. But I'm really enjoying it. It plays quite well. It's had a few crashes. I expect that from a game of this nature. I don't think I've ever played one of these games like The Forest or, as I say, Conan, where it hasn't crashed at least once. I think it's just the nature of these games, the amount of data involved in them, the amount of players on at once. It's a 2.5 kilometer map.
It's pretty big.
With 100 players on it. So although it is a big map, it doesn't feel that big when you're in, because you run into a lot of other people very quickly.
Right, yeah.
I mean, the area that we're in, for example, as soon as you step out of our base's main door, you can see at least another 5 or 6 bases around us.
Yeah.
In close enough proximity that they're within the draw distance. But if you don't as with any of these games, if you don't maintain your upkeep, your base decays, and all that sort of stuff.
Right, okay. So if you're not playing it constantly, then
you don't have to play it constantly. It's got a really good system in that it has this what's called a tool cupboard, and once you've built one, it means no one can build within 50 meters of your base, which is pretty handy. But you can fill the tool cupboard with everything that your base needs to not decay.
Right.
So
okay.
our base is made of wood, stone, and metal. So it needs it tells you how much of each it needs. But the good thing is when you fill the tool cupboard up, it will tell you how long you've got before you'll run out. So currently our base is at 8 days.
Right. Okay.
We've got 8 days where if we don't touch it until Friday, it'll be absolutely fine. Nothing will decay, and we'll be fine. So it's pretty good in that sense. I think the highest we've got it up to at one point was about 11 or 12 days. So it's good to know that you can have a good session on it, get everything set up, and then just fuck off and leave it for a week, and it'll be fine. Because that's the thing I hate about Conan. I don't know if you did either of you two play the Conan game?
I touched on it a bit until
yeah.
I realised you could just break the game and just spawn everything in by using the creator code or whatever it is. You could just choose to spawn things in the options, and then just ruin the game for me. But I never gel well with these survival type games. I don't know what it is about them, and I think
neither do I, and I usually fucking hate them.
Yeah.
Because it's the PvP element that gets me. Because I mean, as we discussed last week, PvP is not always my friend. And in Conan, for example, and I don't know what your experience with it, Jedi, was, but no matter where you built your base, no matter how small or big you built your base, as soon as you logged off, by the time you log back on, some cunt has come along with a fucking trebuchet or a catapult or something, and your base is destroyed.
Yep, that was the last time I played the game.
Yeah, and I literally after that was like, well, fuck this shit. Whereas the way that this one works is a lot. It's set up differently in that it's actually very difficult to break down walls. It's not impossible, but to do it, the players need some very high level explosives, and you can upgrade your walls so that they need more explosives. And it almost you can upgrade your walls to a point where it becomes too much of a hassle for them to even bother. Yeah. You can put locks on all the doors as well, and all that sort of stuff. So the base we've got at the moment, it's not high end by any means, but it's enough that it's too much effort for them to bother. and we did get grief yesterday, which was very annoying. It made me very angry. / this morning actually. So I've now fitted one of our rooms with a 4-door airlock. So I was like, I'm not having them, because they literally blew the door off, and I was like, I'm not having this again. So I fitted a 4-door airlock, because like if they're going to have to waste 3 explosives on one door, they're now going to have to break down 4 separate doors individually, just to be a prick about it. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying this one. The challenge feels just right in that I'm not getting overly fucked off very quickly. You can escape a lot of things quite easily. You can run away from things quite easily. My favorite thing about this one in comparison to any other that I've played is the food element. So again, if you think back to Conan or any of the others that you've played, like The Forest, for example, food is always a fucking nightmare in these games, because there's never enough food, or like it's always hard to harvest the food, or you have to constantly be eating to keep your character even remotely fed. Whereas the food system in this one is really, really well done. The drain on water and food is very slow. So once you've got your calories up, like the drain's really slow. But also there's the easiest food and the best food to eat is pumpkins, because it replenishes not only your health and your food, but it also replenishes your water. So if you eat a pumpkin, you can do all 3. Yeah. Every time you eat a pumpkin, you get a pumpkin seed, which means you can plant a new pumpkin plant. The map is absolutely fucking littered with pumpkin plants, where people are just eating pumpkins from, like, everybody just helps each other out by just eating each other's pumpkins and then just laying fucking pumpkin plants everywhere. I spent 10 minutes this morning planting 400 pumpkin plants outside our base, because I was like, this will fucking do. Pumpkins for everyone. I don't even care who takes. Everyone have a pumpkin. Which is, but in the end, I know it's going to benefit me, because there's just pumpkins everywhere. So I've never played a game like this where I've felt this comfortable with the food element of it. I don't feel like it's even there. Like, you eat 2 pumpkins, you're at maximum, and then it's like, well, I don't have to worry about that for the rest of the time I'm playing this game.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Which is really pleasant. Yeah, you can just worry about the stuff you want to worry about, like building explosives to destroy the Spanish cunts who came and invaded our base this morning. So just before I finish on Rust, I just talk you through our plan, because I'm really angry at these guys. So this morning we all logged on. We weren't really doing anything. We were just pottering about, and these 3 Spanish fellas came and with a double-barreled shotgun and some other pretty gnarly weapons, absolutely fucking killed us about 6 times. Every time we spawned, they waited for us to leave our base and then would just kill us again. Oh, wow. They blew one of our doors down and stole all of our good shit. Luckily, they didn't get into our main base, but they stole from like our storeroom area. So they absolutely griefed us, and I was so unhappy. I'm so pissed off afterwards. Well, we found out where their base is. We've done some research. The plan is to almost reenact the Battle of Helm's Deep. We've discovered that you can attach ladders to the side of people's bases, and they have an open roof. So I'm going to get Matt and Ryan to climb their base with ladders that I'm going to build for them. And then, while they're doing that, I'm going to use a fuck ton of grenades to blow their door off and steal all their shit and murder them in their sleep. Just like the Battle of Helm's Deep, except the sleeping part.
Yeah.
And hopefully this time hopefully this time the invaders win.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll win, and we'll pick we know they're Spanish because we heard them talking. So we know that they're going to be on a similar time schedule to us. There's only an hour difference. So we can just pick a really random time of the night when they're likely not going to be on, or like in the middle of the day, and just go in there while their characters are logged off and murder them all in their sleep, and it'll be great. And I'll be a very happy person. And what I have learned, what I also learned is the tool cupboards, if you destroy them and build your own, you can take control of their base. So my aim is to go in, kill them, destroy their sleeping bags so they've got no spawn points, destroy their tool cupboard, replace it, put one of my own doors on their base, and then just leave empty out everything that's good in that base, and just watch it slowly decay, and they can't do anything about it. That's my
really-
plan.
There
That's really
needs to be
fucked
an
up.
update next week.
Yeah, definitely.
The update's going to be, it didn't work. It didn't work.
The update, I deleted Rust.
They were awake.
That'll be it. An update will come. We will make sure there is an update of this. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. I'm really enjoying it, basically. Long story short.
Yeah,
It's,
I think those type of survival games, and particularly Rust, it's like you need good friends that are just willing to play through it with you, and that's what makes the game good, is like doing it together with friends. Like, imagine playing that on your own would just be like,
I don't
be
think
boring.
you would have the greatest time on your own because, like you say, I think you'd get pretty bored. I know Ryan plays a lot of it on his own. I can't play it on my own because
I don't think
if I'm
I
playing solo, I need something to like aim for. I need a target. I have played a little bit of this on my own today, but that's because the Spanish fellas that attacked us have now given me a goal.
Yeah.
They've awoken
Revenge.
the beast inside me. The spreadsheets are flowing, so they've created a monster, and I refuse to give up. I refuse to let them continue. So now that I've got a clear goal in mind, I will just log on, like build explosives, put them in a cupboard, log off, log on, build explosives, and I'll keep doing that until all three of us can get on and we can commit to our plan of Helm's Deep. Mark II.
Being this like demolitions expert, like factory worker in your downtime.
Literally. But yeah, so I mean, what I'd say is if you're into survival games, I'd give it a solid sort of 8 or 9 if that's the type of game you're into. If you're not into them but you want to play it with friends, it's by far, having played maybe 4 or 5 different survival games with friends, this is the one I've had the most fun with, and I've got the most into, and feel like I've got the most progress in. So again, I maybe 7 or 8. If you're not into them at all, then don't bother. Like, you will fucking hate it. That's where I'd leave it at. Sort of somewhere between a 7 and a 9, depending on how much you like these type of games.
So how much is it?
It's currently 45 on the store, but on Amazon it's like 30 quid or 32 or something on disc. So I'm pretty adamant it'll be on sale pretty quickly. These are the sort of games that go on sale quite quickly.
Yeah.
Because they rely on having more players, don't they? They rely on a player base to be fun. So
totally.
I'm pretty sure that give it maybe a month or two, and there's bound to be a sale on to boost players up. And I wouldn't be surprised, if 6 to 8 months down the line it's a PlayStation Plus game.
Yeah, it seems like the type would be. I think 7 Days to Die, which is similar, was.
I'm pretty sure Conan
title.
was as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At one point.
Yeah, true.
So it's one of those games that it plays well off of the more players playing it. So I can see definitely within the year, PlayStation Plus going, yeah, we'll throw that out as a PS4, PS5, PlayStation Plus game. Potential. But yeah, so that's that. What about yourself, young Miguel?
Obviously I've been playing Mass Effect pretty heavily. Could finish the first first outing in the Shepard trilogy. Loved it, got really into it, but I did sort of fly through it just because I want to get to the second and third game because they're the best ones. So I've been playing that, and then I have been playing something a little bit different, especially for me, who's a fat lazy man. I've been playing Ring Fit Adventure, which is great. It's really fun, and it just incorporates exercise into video games. So now I have no excuse, as Ellie keeps telling me. She's like,
she's not wrong.
Yeah, you have no excuse now. So yeah, we got a Ring Fit, and she's been playing it as well. We've been kind of like taking it in turns and doing it at night or whatever. But it can be like quite intense. There's a lot of like different difficulty settings to it as well. Like, you can take it easy or go like going hard. You know, go full Joe Wicks on it.
That
Yeah,
sounds
it's not been too intense, and it's fun to play as well. Like, it's fun to do. Like, my main thing about exercise is I find it really boring. So that the element of having a game to play, you know, like it plays almost like a JRPG. But, you know, you'll fight little monsters, and then it's like turn-based combat. So you'll do like a set of like 10 squats or something to like do damage to them.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got like a story-esque mode, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got like a story adventure type mode where you find this magical ring, who's sealed away this like demon monster thing who loves to exercise, which is really weird. But yeah, you just have a villain who looks like a bit like a scary dragon, and you just fight him in various situations. And just say various situations, it's always me just sweating buckets because I'm doing like squats and sit-ups and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, really enjoying it.
God damn you, Mike. Now I want to get it.
Yeah.
I was so out on that, and then now I want to get it. It's on the list. Damn it.
Yeah, pop it on the list. It's if you're not super into exercise, then you kind of need to be, you know, it's a great jumping in point for, you know, exercising and keeping it light and entertaining, and it's not too intense or intimidating for like someone that doesn't do much exercise like myself. Like, I went into being a complete beginner, and now I'm sort of like feel pretty confident in doing it. You know, like it's really good. Yeah, I've been enjoying it, and I can see myself playing it for like a long time as well. You know, just to keep the fitness levels up. Yeah, it's really good.
I was going to say, isn't it? It's quite pricey, isn't it? Because I thought about it before, and I'm like, is it worth the money?
£60, and that includes like the strap and the ring itself. But it did cost me quite a bit because I needed a Joy-Con that, you know, like an official Nintendo one, because the second party one that I've got doesn't work with it. So I had to get a Joy-Con as well.
I mean, that's not ideal.
No. So yeah, it cost me a fair bit, but yeah, it's £60, but it's worth it in my opinion. You can obviously shop around and get it a bit cheaper. I think I saw it for like 40 somewhere, or we were looking at them like second hand because Ellie was like, "I'll just get it off like Facebook Marketplace or something." I was like, "I don't really want like someone's second hand sweaty controller thing." Like, nah, I'll pass. We'll get a brand new one.
Yeah, or is that for the actual Ring Fit itself, or just for a Joy-Con? Like the second-hand one. When you said about getting second-hand, was that a second-hand
for the Ring
Fit you were looking
at?
at?
Yeah, the Ring Fit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want a second-hand Ring
No.
Fit. That is that is
like,
a sweaty thing.
Yeah, I was like, nah. But yeah, it's worth the price point in my opinion. If you want to make a jump into being more healthy and active, and then it's a good way to do it.
It's very much like, in my opinion, like it's like obviously the Switch is a great console anyway, but it's capitalizing very much on that Wii element that Nintendo did so well with the Wii, obviously. Just capitalizing on that area that they've ultimately done the best at across all the different developers. That exercise gaming market.
Yeah,
it's a market, clearly.
It's very, very similar to the Wii Fit from the Wii days. Yeah, it's very similar to that, and I can't see you ever using the Ring Fit controller for anything other than this game. Like you could with the Wii Fit board, you could play it with different games and stuff that included it, but I can't see it being incorporated in any other game.
That's the only real downside, isn't it? Is that's as a peripheral, it's pretty limited for its overall use in other titles. Like, obviously, it's good for what it does, but yeah, if you're looking for a peripheral that you're going to be able to use across the board, that's not the one.
No,
if you know what I mean.
No,
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably
You know what
not.
I'm saying?
Totally.
I mean, you bring up the Wii Fit, and back then they had the step pad or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, the
Uh,
board thing.
Yeah, one of the games that I worked on as a tester way back in my 2K days was Don King's Prize Fighter, and on the Wii version, they actually incorporated the Wii Fit pad into the training montages and everything. So you could, if you had that, you could totally use that as an additional. Definitely not required, but certain people can try to get cute with it and try to have an optional thing in there for it. But
I'm looking
I don't know.
forward to Call of Duty Switch Edition. You have to squeeze the Wii Fit ring to fire your gun.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Do
Squat to crouch.
Do it, Activision, you cowards.
I mean, that would be a difficult game to play. You get a good workout though.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I suppose the good thing is, and I don't know, I doubt they've announced much information on this, but have you got any? I don't know if you've looked into it. Is there any indication if there's going to be a sort of Ring Fit 2 game, or is it going to be that once, like after a certain amount of time, do we think they're going to release like new adventures that you can do on that game? Is there any indication that there'll be DLC to follow?
I'm pretty early on in the story to tell if it like continues, but it's a very like loose story. It's very much tacked on. It's not like it's not like The Last of Us or anything.
No. But I'm just wondering if they'll be like, because I've seen some of it, and it's like running through this area and then going to a volcano and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and I just wonder if it's gonna be like, oh, we've got a new story with a new enemy, but it's ultimately the same game, just a different enemy and some slightly new looking scenery, for example.
Yeah, I mean, it's got potential to add more exercises and things like that, which is the main thing, isn't it? That's what you're getting it for. It's the exercises and new routines and things like that. So yeah, it's definitely got potential for more. But whether they're going to develop into it or not, I don't know. It depends on sales, I guess.
I mean, the smart money would be to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you had enough people to buy the ring or and they're playing it, yeah, give them more content because people want to be fit, and if they're doing it that way, they will pay to use the Switch to be fit.
Yeah.
Right now seems like a really good time to be pushing that as well, because there's a lot of. I was actually visiting a friend today who's a personal trainer, and we were discussing there's a lot of people coming out of lockdown with some extra lockdown pounds that they're looking to shed. And for those out there that don't want to do sort of your average gym session, this is a great way to lose those few extra pounds you may or may not have gained over lockdown.
Yeah. I was telling Mike that my wife, she works customer support for a fitness app that's on the Oculus, and they basically took Beat Saber and turned those into actual training regimens with different core workouts. So you can focus your legs, you can focus certain pieces, and they regularly come out with content. They have a subscription base. They've been thriving since the pandemic. So that just reinforces what you were saying. People want to lose the weight. People have packed it on. The services, people want that stuff right now.
I mean, the thing with, like, particularly when it comes to if you're losing weight because you feel like you need to lose weight, as in you feel like you've put on a few pounds that you're not proud of, or you're a little bit heavier than you believe you should be, there's that embarrassment element, isn't there, of going to the gym. And a lot of people like the comfort of doing it in their own home where they're safe, they're not going to be judged, no one's going to be watching them do it. So that's definitely something that can, like, a good spot to go into the market for.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of the reasons why I bought it. I was just like, I hate the gym environment, and it's just not for me. So this is like perfect, work out at home, a cheaper alternative to buying, say, like a treadmill or something like that. So it's something you could just do at home,
and fun, because I mean, I don't know about you. I've done a little bit of working out in my time, not much though. I am no gym goer, but personally, I find working out really fucking boring.
Yeah, totally.
It's just boring. Whereas turning it into a game, it takes that feeling of boredom away. I know I've played a lot of some of the VR like ones, like the boxing VR, and although it's just literally boxing, It's literally boxer size. If you ask me to boxer size, I'll tell you to get fucked. You
Yeah,
ask me
yeah.
to play boxing VR, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Let's take on Mike Tyson. But yeah,
I mean, it ain't all that hard.
if you're looking to like lose a bit of lockdown pounds, a cheaper alternative to a gym membership, and yeah, it's worth the jump into it. I'd say, definitely.
Nice. Got a score for it then? If we're scoring everything this week,
We'll give it. I mean, it's a tough one to score because as a game, it's kind of just all right, but as like a way to exercise and keep fit, it's really good. So I'd say like an 8.
I mean, an 8 is solid.
Yeah, it's solid. Yeah, but it's
Yeah, I would say that seems accurate, especially if you keep coming back to it.
yeah. I'm looking forward to it as well, which is the weird thing. For me,
That's weird.
Yeah,
That is. Well, yeah, I don't. Looking forward to it. Seems like an odd choice of words there.
No, because
I'm
it gives you like
excited.
scores to beat and things like that, and
No, I know what you're saying. I'm only messing. Like
Yeah.
I played my fair amount of Wii games to be like, yeah, I can squat harder than I could 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. I can do one full squat now.
Exactly. Also, looking at the notes, and I'm really interested to hear about this. You have played some Pokemon.
Yeah, because
This-
we had our fucking resident Pokemon expert on last week. I was like, right, I'll jump back into Pokemon Sword because we had a bit of a conversation. I don't know if it was on the podcast or just after it or whatever. I don't know. But I was like, right, I'll jump back into Sword and Shield and give it a fair shot. Because last time I played about an hour and I was like, this fucking sucks. I hate it. So I played about another hour. And I was like, this fucking sucks. I hate it. Like, I've just really fallen out with Pokemon. I'm just super done with it, I think.
I mean, the thing is as well, though, you're, in my personal opinion, playing the worst Pokemon game to date.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it at all. They're trying to do this open world thing, and it just comes across really shit, in my opinion.
Agreed.
The biggest thing for me is the music. I find the music so fucking irritating, and I've only just realized this recently. But I've played almost every Pokemon game ever just muted. I just do not have any sound when I play those games because the music is so annoying. Bar the one noise you get when you evolve and when you heal your Pokemon at Pokemon Center. I turn the volume up for those and those alone.
I mean, they're great times to turn your volume up.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I recently played, what was it called? Temtem? And I remember speaking about it on here, and I've not even gone back to that. I actually just think that the whole concept of Pokemon is now lost on me. Just the whole concept of it, I think is just. I just don't know if that's ever gonna be
overdone.
Yeah, I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ever going to enjoy that concept ever again anymore. Like I feel like as a gamer, I've moved on from it.
It's just super fucking stale. Like
I
the
think
combat
for
is
this
so
one,
stale.
For Sword and Shield though, they added the raids, which a lot of people tend to go to and enjoy that. But
But they're awful. The raids are awful.
for the most part, it's all still just the same mechanics, and it's small iterations. They need something big to revamp it and to make it really interesting. Like Shield, I played it until I got to the big open area, and then I was done.
That's where I got
couldn't
to.
go past it. And it wasn't like this game is just horrible, I'm turning it off. It was just I lost interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the new part. Okay, it's not really that new.
Yeah.
No, and I remember when they announced it, and they announced the idea of these 4-player raids, and I was quite excited by this concept of 4-player raids. And to me, like I expected some sort of like 3 or 4 floor dungeon, and like you get to join up with 4 other players, and you get to go around this dungeon fighting lots of different Pokemon, and at the end of it, you'd have like a big boss Pokemon. But it's literally just one battle with one gigantic Pokemon it just completely like absolutely shattered what my idea of the word raid means.
Yeah. Just a disappointment.
Yeah,
Sorry, Ryan.
I'm just done with Pokemon. So yeah, I think we should move
I,
on.
I,
Yeah,
I
it's
really,
just-
I'm
it's
really
just
hoping.
not-
It's just I'm really hoping that new game that they announced, the one that might be different, the one that might be a little bit unique, might bring something to it that is just something different than the past 15, 20 years, however long it's been. We've been playing the same damn game.
Yeah,
I won't lie, I don't hold out hope for that fact.
no, I don't think it'd be any different.
I always give the hope until I see it in action.
Yeah.
I've said it about everything. Even the Turtles movie that came out 5-6 years ago, held out hope until I saw it in action. Then I lost the hope. But I will hold out the hope until I see. I need to see proof. I need to see what it's doing. Right now, it has my interest barely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. Have you got anything else you wanted to raise today, Mike, or is that everything?
No, that was
Should
it.
we
I just wanted to announce that I'm fucking done with Pokemon. It sucks.
I hope that Ryan enjoys that statement.
Fuck you too.
I hope
Ryan.
Ryan thinks about it every night before he goes to sleep.
Yeah.
He just thinks about that you are done with Pokemon.
Clutching his pillow as he goes to sleep.
It's like
Tear comes out of his
Pokemon
eye.
pillow, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's Pokemon plushie. He's definitely got like a Pikachu plushie or something. 100%.
Yeah.
Love you, Ryan.
But
Right,
yeah,
let's move on. Let's go to a cheerier
move
topic.
on from Pokemon. Well, there is a cheerier topic, a really cheery topic this week. It's coming up to what day is it? It's 23rd, isn't it? So we're 7-8 days away from June, and June is E3 month,
Yeah, it's
and we all
less
E3.
Less than a month away. Less than
It
4
is. So
weeks.
just to clarify before we start going into, because the topic this week, we're going to have a discussion about what we're looking forward to, what we're hoping to see, what we would love to see. But before we do that, let me just clarify some bits. Let me just get my phone up, because my phone has all the details on it. So for anybody listening who doesn't know, the E3 official dates are the 12th to the 15th, I
Yeah,
believe.
that's
Yes,
correct.
12th to the 15th, so Saturday to the Tuesday. But this also coincides with Summer of Games Fest, and some of the studios are doing some of their own bits and bobs. So just to have a quick breakdown for everyone listening, it all kind of kicks off June 5th is when sort of the first stuff happens. We've got the Guerrilla Games Collective kicks off on that date, and then we have that's on the 5th, and we have the Indie Live Expo on the 5th. Following that, on the June the 10th, you've got the Summer Games Fest kickoff with good old Jeff Keighley. So that's a live kickoff. That's bound to have some new premieres. He's stated
Jeff
over a
Keighley's
dozen.
made his name in this sort of area of gaming now, hasn't he?
Exactly.
With last year, with E3 not happening last year, he kind of like was like, "Well, I'll just do it," and then it's
I'll
like
just do it
getting all of the game announcements.
So interestingly, it's been confirmed that there'll be over a dozen announcements at that event, and it will also feature Weezer. Of all the bands, Weezer are going to be there. And then the second part of Guerrilla Collective is on June 12th, and that's kind of the kickoff of E3. As part of E3, we've got Ubisoft Forward, which is confirmed that it will be at E3, and the time for that is 3 p.m. Eastern time. So is that 8 p.m. our time?
Math is hard. Yeah, sure. Why not?
8 p.m. British Summer Time. 12 p.m. PDT. So that kicks off. That is the only 100% confirmed timed conference for E3 at this time. So the Ubisoft Forward, the Devolver Digital are going to have one, but they haven't confirmed the time yet.
That's always fun.
Yep, that's always one of the best ones in my opinion, just because it's fucking hilarious.
It's just mad.
We know that June the 13th will be the PC gaming show, but again, they haven't confirmed a time, and the future game show. We also know that Xbox will be there, but they haven't confirmed a date or a time of their show. Nintendo will likely not be there, but they will do something. They will release something during the same week because they usually do.
So they're one of the studios confirmed for E3.
Oh, they are confirmed. Apologies, my mistake. They are confirmed, but because they usually do it on the last day, like the last conference day, not the last day of E3. It's usually like the Monday or the Tuesday night. They pick a day where they're on their own, and then they just do one of their Nintendo Directs.
Yeah.
But they haven't confirmed a day or time for that yet. Square has not officially announced that they're going to do a conference, but they have confirmed they will be at E3. They generally do a conference, so the likelihood is they will do one. But again, time and day has yet to be confirmed.
Yeah, I think just like COVID is a thing to say here. It's just like we can't really confirm anything yet, just because logistics and COVID and all that.
Exactly, and that's the key ones that have confirmed they are going to be involved specifically with E3. EA and PlayStation have both said that they won't be involved with E3 specifically, but EA is hosting its own thing. It's called EA Play Festivities, and they're hosting it in the same week. So basically part of E3, but not officially affiliated with. And I imagine that PlayStation, not to be outdone, even though they're not involved, will probably drop something like a PlayStation State of Play at some point during that week or the week after, just to not be completely outdone. But I'm sure they'll drop something fairly soon.
Yeah, they'll
that's
drop something.
A rough rundown of E3 for anybody that wasn't aware of when it was happening or what was going on. So now we've got that in. Oh, 1 second. Lauren has just sent me a message and asked me to check my phone.
Yeah. So today we're just like looking at sort of our like hopes and dreams and everything that we want and going through some rumors and shit like that. So that should be pretty good.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of things that we want to look at, like you say, rumours, confirmed, like what we think is going to be there, but also our own personal wish list, so anything that we would love to be there, however ridiculous it is, and even if the chance is 0.01%, it's still worth a mention. So, Jedi, as per usual, as our guest, do you want to kick us off with what some of the things that you're hoping to see, or some of the changes you're hoping to E3 this year?
Yeah, so I'm going to start with I think the most negative out of my list, just because I wanted to rip this Band-Aid off. The one thing I hope for E3 or any of these conferences is please shut the fuck up about Final Fantasy VII. I am done with Final Fantasy VII. Remake 1 came out. The Remake 1 remaster is coming out. The other remake. Look, shut up about it. It's
not going to happen.
Somebody finally said it, man. I'm so glad.
Like, I am sorry. Like, the game came out. It was cool. It wasn't the end all be all. This wasn't the perfect game. It was all right.
It wasn't even the perfect Final Fantasy. There have been better.
there have been, and you know what? It's had so many years of just talk. Let it sit. Let's go the other route. Let's talk about the other Final Fantasy, the new ones. Take a step back.
I think you're going to be disappointed.
Oh, I know I am.
Because
hopes and dreams, right?
I think. I mean, we've got what's it called, retrograde or whatever this Final Fantasy Part 1, 2 is. Like this, DLC bonus super edition of Part 1 is. I can't remember what it's called, but Final Fantasy VII Part 1 regrade or whatever. They're obviously going to mention that because that isn't out yet, is it? It doesn't come out till post E3.
Yeah, I think a little bit later in June.
So I think that's going to get probably a mention, if not a very small trailer, But I think it's more likely that they might show a teaser or trailer for part 2. With that retro, my dog literally flew past me.
Who's even annoyed at that, right?
Molly's had enough.
Enough of the Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
You know, we're Final Fantasy 16 coming up. Leave 7 in the past.
I apologise. She literally just flew across my face and nearly pulled the wire out from the device and off my head. As I was saying, yeah, so I think we're going to get that. Potentially, we're going to get some sort of trailer for, like, say, part 2, or at least a teaser.
I think a teaser.
But then we also have, and I know, Mike, you've got this on your list, Final Fantasy 16.
16 looks so good. Let's talk about that for a sec.
Deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that looks...
It looks more like medieval-y type of setting. It looks very like, medieval sort of English, French kind of era type stuff. And it just looks cool. So I'm excited for that. A new, different Final Fantasy that is not 7.
Only better than 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like it's like gonna be better. It looks good. The other thing, have you guys heard the other Final Fantasy rumor that's currently floating about?
No.
No, what's that? They're remaking the remake of Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, 7.4. The remake, the Returnal remake. No, there's a rumor that has come out in the last couple of days, and when I say the last couple of days, I mean literally, I read it yesterday. That there is another Final Fantasy in the works. So as well as this retrograde or whatever it's called, and part 2 and 16, that there is in fact another Final Fantasy in the works.
Yeah, I heard that 16 was like close to done. They were just kind of sitting on it.
Well, the rumor is, if this is to be true, it is an unconfirmed source. So take all of this with the biggest pinch of salt. That it's not the normal Final Fantasy team, but it's the Ninja team that built the Neo games. They are working on a Souls-esque Final Fantasy game.
Oh, okay.
So a bit like the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order or the Souls games, it's going to be a single player, less of a sort of Final Fantasy-esque tactical RPG, but more of a combat heavy.
Yeah, I could go for that.
Souls-esque.
God damn it!
RPG.
That's good. That's going to be the next Final Fantasy VII tie-in. Then they're going to use that, because the only way that you can get away with a Final Fantasy VII Souls game is to use characters that are already established. They're going to grab the 7 again.
Final Fantasy VII
I'm mad.
Souls Edition.
I'm mad.
I mean, it might not be 7. It could be. It could be. They could use some of their other beloved characters. I mean, Lightning had quite a few games. Maybe they bring her back. I think if they're going to do a Souls-esque game, let's get Final Fantasy VIII, Squall, and his incredible Gunblade involved. That's it for me. Do that as a Souls game. That'd be great.
That would work.
But it could. What the rumor was saying is actually this could be a tie-in game or some extra story or a side story, or even some like lore to Final Fantasy 16. Because if you think about that medieval element that 16's got, that would tie very well in with a Souls-esque game.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah.
So there's a lot of ideas around. Could this be a sort of preview game, like a build up to 16, or some form of like side, like a character that you meet in 16? This is a game based around them, set in the same world, because it's got that medieval-esque feel to it that could work really well for a Souls game. Because I can't see Souls
like familiar
working.
Dark Souls territory, like.
Yeah, I just don't see it working in Final Fantasy VII. Like, I see what you mean with the characters, but in the world, I can't see how a Souls game would work particularly well in that world. Whereas a medieval world obviously fits it perfectly.
Yeah, we'll just wait and see, won't we? And
so that'll be an interesting one. So hopefully that's I mean, I would say that's dampened your concern about Final Fantasy VII, but it hasn't, Jedi. I know this. But saying that, I see the second. Some of the other bits on your list are quite interesting. So, do you want to hit us with your next topic?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the next one is Xbox needs to give something. Xbox has released a console, and we have yet to really have a next-gen game for it. You know, even the PlayStation 5 has had several next-gen games.
Yeah.
Xbox needs something, and they need something to release this year. I know we have Halo Infinite, but come on, like it has been quiet. Like they've been doing a lot of great things with their service, with Xbox Game Pass. They've been doing a lot of things there, and I've had a lot to play on the Xbox. I need something new. I need something that shows that this is a next gen console because it has been dry.
Yeah.
I mean, could Starfield be the answer? There's lots of rumors saying it's going to be an Xbox exclusive.
I heard that rumor. Yeah, that could be it. But Starfield's or whatever that game is, it's not close to being released from what I heard.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've
I
seen,
keep hearing different things
stuff
about that.
The screenshots and stuff that I've seen, it doesn't look anywhere near finished. But they
because
were unconfirmed, obviously.
Yeah. What's his name? Industry insider Jason Schreier. He was saying that the game was being worked on by a very small team when it was announced, and then the team started ramping up last year or the year before. The game is nowhere near. It's probably mid development, so it's not going to come out until 2023 probably.
Yeah.
I mean, that's frustrating. But the
I feel like Xbox have made all these big moves, like financially and like in a business terms, but when it comes to like actual games on their system, there's not much there. Maybe
there hasn't been anything.
Senua. We might see some Senua Sacrifice 2, whatever that was called, Hellblade 2.
Yeah, I mean, you might see some footage from Perfect Dark, that remake.
But are you looking for? Are you hoping for new Xbox titles in general, or something that's going to really highlight the console's ability? Because haven't they said that they're not making any next gen exclusives? Like all of their games will be playable on both previous gen and the new gen, the current gen.
For this year, yes, they're going to be cross-gen. They're going to be on the Series and the Xbox One. They're going to be on both of those. But there still needs to be something that can, like they have touted that you can go ahead and create. The developers can create a game that harnesses the power of the Series X, while also being able to be dumbed down for the Xbox One. Okay, you have these studios. This is your hardware. Show us.
Yeah.
You need to show me. And like, I just need. I need a game. Daddy needs games. Come on.
Daddy does need games. Yeah. Well, I mean, as you mentioned, and I know Mike, you've put a note about this. Halo Infinite. Hopefully, we're going to see an update to show that whatever that atrocious pile of shit they released last year was a mistake, and there is actually a good game behind that.
Yeah, hopefully it's in a better place if we see it at E3. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Maybe they'll hold off.
I think the rumor was E3 was when they were going to show it off again. I mean, we're at the point again, right? The game should be at this point. If it's coming out this year in November, you should be wrapping up. You should have a demo of a chunk of the level or a chunk of the game that you can cordon off and be able to show if the game is that close to being done. If it's not, there are big concerns about it coming out this year.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. There should, if it's coming out in a few months' time, they should at least, even if there isn't a demo, they should at least be able to show something solid. Because they haven't shown anything solid so far.
And everything I've heard from 343 has just been chaos, bad management, bad process. It has not been good. And I am very concerned about Halo. Like, I'm talking about all the games I want them to show me. I would love it if they can show Halo as that game. I do not have confidence that it's going to come out and be this diamond for them.
Oh, I don't think it is either. I think this is going to be, it's going to be different. But I think personally, this is going to be just your average FPS, but in a Halo world. I don't think it's going to do anything that's going to utterly shake the foundations of a Halo game or of FPS in general. I think it's going to be mediocre at best.
And then that's just a damn shame. At this point, you need to either determine what you want to do with the series and 343.
Well, and I've got a big concern about it, and the reason, like, don't get me wrong, I love Halo, but especially when it comes to an FPS, I have two concerns. If it goes, let's be honest, 343 haven't exactly, from a story base, done particularly well since they've taken over. The stories that they've put out in the Halo worlds haven't been particularly great. They've been okay, but nothing groundbreaking that like we've seen from Halo before. So if they were going down a story base, I'd be like, okay, so I've got an idea of what I'm getting here. But my concern is when you take an FPS into an open world element, which is what we know they're doing, that usually dilutes the story quite badly. And I don't actually know that many FPS games that are open world, if any, that have a really solid story that's really gripping and interesting, because generally open world games dilute the story quite a lot by the fact that you can go anywhere you want. There's no urgency in anything you do. There's no commitment to anything you do, because you can do anything in any order you want, however you want. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and there's ways to do that to guide the story. It's it's an open world, but there's certain areas you need certain equipment. You need to go. There's ways to gate things. But you're right. The core thing is a strong story. As of yet, our big bad that we've seen in the one trailer is a nobody that I don't give two shits about. The story is going to be hard to grip in there, and I think we're all on the same page. We would love to see if it comes out swinging. We just don't think it will.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come out swinging something. Just I don't think it's the right thing.
Pour one out for the Halo.
So, Mike, I cut you off there. What was you going to say?
No, just kind of agreeing, really. That's what Jedi said.
So, yeah, it's a tough one, and just based on something else that we read last week, and I know me and Mike, me and you had a small discussion. I don't know if we raised it on the podcast though. Do we think that this E3 is the time in which Microsoft could or may or will announce Game Pass on the Switch?
This has been a big thing, hasn't it? Because wasn't it all but confirmed in the Apple?
It's in the legal documents, yeah.
Yeah. So
like no one came out and said it, for example, but it's in the legal documents. Everybody's read it and gone, well, that basically says this. If you know how to read the legal documents. Yeah,
which I've not looked at myself, so I can't really comment. But
I've not read them. I've only read articles about them.
But I mean, this has kind of been where Xbox has been leading to, isn't it? Like Xbox Game Pass available on multiple systems and stuff like that. So I think this would be such an amazing move for them to like announce it, as soon as E3. Should be like Game Pass is coming to Switch, and they're working on this huge partnership with Nintendo. But one of the things I like take issue with is you're not going to see Nintendo games on Game Pass. You're not going to see Mario on there because fucking Nintendo's going to hold on to those IPs till they die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they'll never share those IPs, so and it raises a concern for me.
It'll be a very one-sided partnership, I think.
I think it will be, but you see a lot of the move makes a lot more sense now, especially that Bethesda is under Microsoft, because Bethesda has been bringing their games over to the Switch. So now you're going to have a Bethesda library of games on the Switch, and it'll be one-sided, but it's just continuing to grow that ecosystem for Microsoft that gives them that little crumb every time somebody from a different platform buys into Game Pass.
Yeah, as like a business standpoint, it makes so much fucking sense. But as like in terms of like games and sort of Nintendo coming to Game Pass rather than Game Pass coming to Nintendo, I think you're not going to see much Nintendo on there.
I don't think you'll see any Nintendo on there at all.
No.
It would be rare. I can't. I said none of the marquee games are ever going to go on there.
No. There's no reason for Nintendo to do that, really, is there?
Yeah, I mean, and you look at anytime I've tried to go buy a game, never once have I seen Mario Galaxy go on sale. It is still full fucking price.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And we were discussing this in our last episode, like because Fire Emblem Three Houses. I don't think that game's ever going to drop in price. Nintendo games just do not drop in price. I'm pretty sure Zelda's still like full fucking price when you try and buy it now. And it's like
Absolutely.
4
It is.
years
Breath of the
old.
Wild.
100% it is.
And that game's been out for what feels like forever now. Well, in relation to the console, at least.
But
I just don't.
I see them holding that price just because there's such good games. Like Mario Odyssey will never drop in price either. It's just so polished and so like. It's just Nintendo stamp on it, isn't it? So it's same with Breath of the Wild. It's just a timeless game now.
Across the board, though, I don't think Nintendo they're just not interested in selling their, like you say, they're selling their stamp and their quality for anything less than what they believe it's worth, which is however high that price is. They're never gonna pull back on that.
Yeah.
But well, we'll see. Hopefully, we will see more from Xbox though. My hope for Xbox is that they don't start by showing us a shitty Forza trailer and then have Phil Spencer standing in front of a car that no one gives a fuck about.
You know that's coming. You know it is.
Just why
Coming
why,
and here's the thing. We all hate those fucking games. We all hate Forza. We're not fans of them. Holy shit, there are fans of that game though.
But the thing is, I don't hate Forza. I'm not. I don't. By
It's
any
not
means hate
exciting
Forza.
though.
And I get it. There were fans of it. My dispute isn't with the fact that they're showing off Forza. The same as my dispute with EA isn't the fact that they show off FIFA every year. My dispute with this is why do they always bring out a actual concept car? Like, what is the relevance of here's our game and here's a concept car that we've just brought onto the stage for you? It's a complete waste of time and money, and I'm adamant that nobody who goes to E3 or watches E3 gives a flying fuck about that concept car behind them. It just it's irrelevant. It doesn't need to exist.
Yeah, it doesn't make for a very good show.
You're listening, Phil? Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil. And it's the same with Ubisoft. Don't open your conference with another Just Dance. We know how Just Dance works. We've seen it for the last 10 years.
I kind of like the Just Dance things just because it's so fucking bizarre.
They're
It's
out
just
there.
like
They're so out there. I love it.
This is 10 minutes of me
bizarre.
just commenting how weird this fucking shit is.
It just doesn't feel like it needs to be there though.
Yeah. But I kind of
odd.
like E3 wouldn't be E3 without those fucking cheesy moments, though, would it? Like,
I mean, true.
We've all sat around like maybe 2 years now that we've been doing it, and we've sat together and watched, the conferences and shit together, and those moments are just hilarious, and we have like the biggest laughs just off the back of those like cheesy fucking moments. So I hope they keep them all in. Fuck it, just for the
keep them all
laughs.
in.
Yeah.
Just keep them all in, Phil. Don't listen to us. Do what you want. Do whatever you want, Phil. You're the boss. The literal boss. So moving away from Microsoft then. Mike, what other elements are you looking forward to?
I'm hyped for whatever, as Capcom being one of the other confirmed studios. I'm so hyped for whatever they're bringing, whether it's a new IP or just some old games or just support for more Monster Hunter. Capcom as a studio has been absolutely fucking killing it, and nobody seems to be talking about how good they're doing as a studio. Like, the games they're bringing out are such top tier. Like with Monster Hunter Rise, incredible game. They've brought out the other one before that, I can't remember, like World, and that sort of kind of took Monster Hunter by storm. But what
didn't they announce a game last year? That weird fucking
They've done a Monster Hunter Stories thing.
No,
So
not a Monster Hunter game. I swear, didn't Capcom release a trailer for that weird, like Death Stranding-y looking space game where the person walks through the street and then they're in the spacesuit, and then the next minute they like jump up into a hole and they're in space, and it's all really fucking weird, and they're on the moon. Wasn't that a Capcom trailer? I don't know what it was called.
Pragmata?
Yeah, sure.
God, I can't
That's the one.
remember.
That's the one we're talking about. Where yeah. I'm looking at the trailer right now. That's the one. It was so weird and out there. I still have no idea what the fuck that game's about. But that's the one. It's slated for next year. So hopefully they'll show something this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm
So,
intrigued by
that'd
that.
be great.
I knew. I remember Capcom had something in the bag. I just couldn't remember what the fuck it was called. It was just weird.
Yeah, I mean, they've just recently released Resident Evil Village, which
Which
I've watched
has been killing it.
a lot of streams, just absolutely murdered it. Like, it's so good. From all the speedrunners I've watched and stuff like that, they're all having such a good time with the game. And the memes coming from that game as well are top tier.
Oh, anything involving Lady, however you say her name, Dimitri.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know how you say that name.
Lady, step on me.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one we're talking about. Yeah, her.
The tall gal. But what I really fucking want to see is another Lost Planet game. 'Cause I think those games were so fucking underrated. Where it was like
I mean, that's a wish list and a half. Because was it like 7 years since the last one?
something like that, if not more.
Maybe longer.
Yeah, probably longer. But those games were just like this third-person shooter, really, which didn't seem there was much special about it. But you had this like survival mechanic where you'd be out in the cold too long, and it was very much like Starship Troopers. In the fact that there was giant aliens, you just shoot them in the big red glowy spots, and then. But the gameplay itself was just so fun, so I just want another Lost Planet, like similar to 1 and 2, because the 3 went all weird and turned into like it tried to be something like Dead Space, and it just wasn't.
Try to be something it's not.
Yeah, so bring back Lost Planet, bring back your old IPs. I fucking love Capcom. They're killing it.
Yeah, they're killing it.
They really are. Like, I'm just hyped for whatever they're going to bring. Whether it be
Street Fighter. Do you
Street-
think there's
Street-
going to be another Street Fighter?
I think Street Fighter's overdue, right? It's been a hot minute since
Five's
Street
been out.
Fighter
What? Was 5 the
came
last
out.
one?
It's like 5 or 6, I think it's on now, but it's been
I know 5's been out, but I can't remember if there's been a 6. And 5's been out for a good like 2 or 3 years now.
yeah. I think with 5 it was like a PS exclusive for a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did it. I think it was a year exclusive to PlayStation. And then
I'm
on
excited.
both.
I'm excited for, if they brought out a new Street Fighter, had a complete overhaul of like its art style and stuff like that, something similar to, say the latest Streets of Rage game, where it's that like hyper animated, almost cel shaded look. Like, I'd be way into that. I think that'd be cool art direction to go in, but just do what you got to do, Street Fighter. But
just sort it out.
Yeah, make it happen. But yeah, also like Nintendo Camp, I think if they've announced that they are at E3 and not just doing a side direct like they usually do, I think they've got something big. There's been talk of the Switch Pro for quite some time, and like the second iteration of the Switch, which I think we all know is coming. So I think E3 is a good spot to announce it.
Yeah, Switch HD or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, probably some weird name.
Yeah, it's good.
Nintendo.
I mean, it's Nintendo. It's going to be something fucking ridiculous that will be like the Switch Zeno Core or something ridiculous.
Yeah. Just so I hope to see that, because I'm very invested in Switch at the minute. Although I have my opinions on the Switch UI and the shit they need to do to fucking just bring that up to speed as a console. I've ranted about on Twitter numerous times about the store and the fact that it has no trophies or achievements and stuff like that. They're really missing a beat.
I mean, if they could announce Switch working like good fucking online infrastructure, that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be great.
just any form of online
Yeah.
infrastructure for
Yeah.
Nintendo would be great.
Yeah.
Because that's a real struggle.
Yeah,
It's a
the
proper
ability
struggle bus.
to use headphones in my Pro Controller, which you can't really do unless you buy the proprietary thing, which I don't want to do. I just want to use my regular headphones.
The ability to have it built-in chat in the Switch.
Yeah. I mean, we could be here all day with the fucking shit that Nintendo's not doing.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But one rumor that I have heard is that the team that worked on Odyssey is working on a new mainline Donkey Kong game. Which, just think of Donkey Kong, put it in Odyssey, and make it like this huge 3D world, and I'm so fucking down. You know, like a new age Donkey Kong Country or something like that.
Donkey Kong Odyssey.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Odyssey, let's go. Let's do it. You're listening, Nintendo? Make it happen.
Do it, Nintendo. Do it.
So
Donkey Kong Odyssey is
that's rumor mill, obviously. Take it with a pinch of salt, it might not be true. There is a lot of talk that it is a 2D, but I'm holding out hope for the 3D. If you know the Odyssey team are working on it, then they did such a stellar job of Mario. So hopefully, yeah. But yeah, that's about it for me. Really, my hype is always there with E3. Like it's always a main event for me. Like it's very important as a gamer for me to just have a day off work and just be like, today is game day. You know, it's like my Super Bowl. Like I'll sit and I'll watch and I'll stay up to like 4 a.m. I really love E3 and I'm so glad that it's back because the Summer of Game thing last year was just awful. It was so drawn out and like I didn't know when things were coming and stuff. So yeah, I'm hyped for the E3's back and I hope it stays current and relevant, which might be a struggle in current times. But yeah, I'm excited for E3, just the event. You know, give me loads of trailers, give me shit tons of new games, and give me loads of cheesy moments that I can laugh about. And make memes.
Make memes.
Yeah.
Have a great time. Enjoy life.
Also,
yeah.
Wish list. This is out there. This might happen. I don't know. There's been rumors of Time Splitters. Like the Free Radical has been merged into like THQ Nordic or something like that. And there's rumors that there's going to be more Time Splitters games coming, whether it be a remake of 1 and 2, which I'd be happy to take that. Yeah, thank you. But a brand new title would be great. I'm sorry, if a remake of 1, 2, and 3 would be superb. But yeah, I'm just happy to more Time Splitters.
Just more Time Splitters.
Yeah,
just Time Splitters.
Yeah,
give us all the Time Splitters. That would be glorious.
Isn't Deep Silver doing that one?
That's the one. Yeah, sorry, I think I got my studios mixed up there, but
yeah, they announced that they're doing the fourth game or the sequel, the whatever's next up for that. So
did they really?
I'm with you on that one.
Isn't Deep Silver part of THQ? Is that not under the THQ banner?
I don't know how it all works. I think Deep Silver does more publishing stuff, but I'm not really sure about how they all get
because I know
THQ
Nordic has like a stupid amount of studios and like IPs under it now. And there was an article recently that was saying they were working on something like 60 different IPs at once, or they had like in their sort of plans. And it's like why, what is happening?
Yeah, they have a lot of studios under them. I know Larian Studios who do Divinity. I was getting mixed up with Destiny. Divinity and the new Baldur's Gate. Like that's the studio that does those games, and they're incredible. So they have got some.
Yeah.
THQ Nordic are another one that's like silently just fucking killing it with the games that are coming out.
They're just knocking. They've just got everything. Like I say, everything is underneath them, and they've just got the ability to just pump out games consistently.
So a decent quality as well. They're not like, I think Darksiders was another IP that was out there as well.
I mean, I would argue they're hit and miss. Some of their studios are substantially better quality than others. I mean, you look at, for example, that Agents of Mayhem that came out a few years ago. That was like a riff off of the Saints Row franchise. That was and it was awful.
It was boring.
And I mean, even Get Out of Hell wasn't great, and that was kind of that Saints Row trilogy,
Oh yeah.
quadrilogy or whatever.
Maybe
and
New,
then
New,
it was,
New Saints Row. That could be something.
I mean, a new Saints Row could be good, but I think take it off of the people that were doing it, because I think wasn't that Deep Silver?
I
Yes.
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, take it off them because I feel like they're done. I don't feel like they have much left to offer to the Saints Row franchise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like. So I've got some of the more obvious ones, I think, that on my list. Firstly, although yes, not part of E3 because they're going to be doing it at the same time. Pretty sure we should be seeing some Battlefield 6 gameplay or trailers or something.
That would be
a lot. Something like 80% of the trailers supposedly being leaks now.
Oh, right,
So
okay.
yeah, I mean, I watched what part of the trailer earlier, and what I saw looks great. It looks so. The leaked trailer, somebody's basically taken screen by screen screenshots of what is supposedly supposed to be the trailer and shown it and put it all together in a GIF, so you can kind of watch it almost as a trailer.
Yeah.
And what you see is a helicopter of some design flying towards what looks like a jungle-y map and gets shot down and crashes.
Classic
and then
Battlefield.
And then it goes to another map where you see what looks like a big fuck off missile get launched and smash into the side of a building. So it from what we've seen from those clips, it does look like it's modern day, or at least more modern day than the last Battlefield. Whether it's full modern day is difficult to say from the screens we've seen, but it may be in that middle ground. It could be more like sort of like mid-90s.
Yeah, like a Vietnam type thing, maybe.
Yeah, like that sort of like 80s,
done that.
90s era.
Not done that in a while, have they?
No, it doesn't. I don't think it's as modern day as Battlefield 4, but as I say, they're hard because they're only these little mini screenshots. It's hard to really pick out detail.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we're going to see something from them at that, which I think is well overdue. Hopefully, we'll see some sort of gameplay. They might even do what they did with Hardline and be like, the trailer's out now. Not the trailer, the demo's out now. Because they did that with Hardline a few years ago, didn't they? In the middle of E3, they were like, yeah, and the demo's out now. And it crashed instantly because everyone tried to download it instantly.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Potentially some news on a new Star Wars title. Because wasn't there talk that there was another Star Wars title in development? After the success of Jedi Fallen Order, I'm sure there was another one that was potentially in the running. So I don't know, I can't remember any details on it, but I know that it was floating about. So it'd be interesting to see if there's anything coming from out of that. And also, EA Motive, obviously they did that small Star Wars Squadrons game a couple of 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Have they been working on anything since?
That was all right.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be interesting to see if there's anything coming out of them. The obvious one, Mass Effect 4 and Dragon Age, whatever number it's on, 4.
Yeah,
From
I'd be
with BioWare.
pretty happy to see more of those. Yeah, defo.
Considering we've seen a Mass Effect, well, technically 5 if you include Andromeda, isn't it? But technically, as we've seen a Mass Effect 4 teaser with, was it Liara?
It looked like Liara, yeah.
It'll be interesting if they actually do announce a bit more information about that, show a little bit of that off. I think we're more likely to see more of that than we are of Dragon Age at this point. But then saying that, they've shown some good Dragon Age footage before, haven't they? So maybe the other way around, we'll see more Dragon Age and less of Mass Effect.
Yeah, I think
So
maybe strike while the iron's hot with Mass Effect. Everyone's talking about it now, so get it.
Exactly. It
Get
seems
some
like a
info
prime
out there,
time
like-
to put it out there and get people on board when you've got everyone playing the Legendary Edition.
Yeah.
The other one that's a potential for me is, will we have... I know they're not confirmed to be there yet, but I also don't know who they fall under from a distribution point of view. Will Atlas be there with anything? Potentially after after the success of Persona 5, will Atlas step out into the big E3 world? Because I don't think they've ever done anything major in the E3 world before. I know they've done Tokyo Game Show, and again, they might wait for that because that's more their home ground.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting if Atlas came out with anything around Persona 6 or what the next chapter in the Persona series could look like following the success of 5.
Yeah,
I'd be
I'd be into that.
pretty down with that. I just don't know who the like publishing rights are with for that. So I don't know if
by
the company.
themselves, aren't they?
I'm not 100% sure. They might be. I don't know, but
Yeah,
they
no
may
idea.
well be. And if they are, fair. But it would be nice to hear from them. But if we don't, we don't. Like I say, I've got a feeling they might wait for Tokyo because that's their, let's say, that's their home ground.
Their parent is Sega.
And Sega is there. I knew it was
Sega
Sega
is
actually.
there,
I can
yeah.
picture it in my head. So yeah, maybe we will see something from Atlas if Sega are going to be there with Busted. I mean, what else have Sega got to show?
Sonic.
I mean,
a new Sonic game?
apart from Sonic, what else have
I don't know.
Sega got to show?
Tails, Knuckles.
The other couple of things I wanted to mention that I'm kind of excited to see / hear more about. Elden Ring. There's a lot of talk on at the moment that Elden Ring might show up.
That's a fucking meme at this point. It's like Beyond Good and Evil. We'll just wait for that as well.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I'd love to see an update on Elden Ring, but I don't think it'll happen again. I'll be surprised if it's there.
Isn't it? Is it Bandai that's?
Yeah, Bandai
releasing that
Namco are
one?
there, aren't they? So they're one of
And
the other
Bandai are
confirms.
there, so
Yeah, so
could
maybe
be that they bring out a bit of Elden Ring information.
Another studio we skipped over was the Warner Brothers are there as well. So I'm thinking, it's
Another
just going to
boring
be
Lord of the Rings game.
No, I'm thinking it's just going to be more Batman. It's a Suicide Squad thing that they showed last time, and then the other Gotham Knights thing as well.
Yeah, Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad would probably both be there.
So
Is
more of
Gollum one of theirs?
Don't know.
I'm just thinking. I know they've got the Mordor game, so does the Lord of the Rings game all fall under Warner Brothers? Because the Gollum game, I know, that's not out yet, is it? That comes out sometime later in the year.
I am
beginning of next year.
The least excited for that game.
Yeah, I agree. I don't care for it at all, but
No.
I'm pretty sure it's due
Being
out.
developed by Daedalic Entertainment?
Who the fuck is that?
I have no idea.
I mean, if you have no idea, then we definitely have no idea. But yeah, no, definitely. Hopefully, we're going to see, because I really, 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 really don't know how I feel about the Suicide Squad game.
What I've seen, it looks all right.
But all we've seen so far is a CG trailer, haven't we? We haven't actually seen any proper gameplay.
Yeah, I mean,
From the trailer, it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
I'd like to know how it's going to play.
That by the trailer, it looked very Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah,
You're moving, you're sliding, you're flying, you're gliding, you're shooting. If that trailer is actual gameplay, then that's what you got. But I don't know if that's any gameplay.
Exactly. So I'd like to see some actual gameplay around that and have a better understanding of how the game's going to play, and how the co-ops or the multiplayer is going to work in it as well.
yeah.
So yeah, that's one that I'm really interested in seeing a bit more around. That Square game that I don't know what they've called it, but when it was first announced, it was Project Athena. The like woman who looked like a nature wizard who was like flying through. Do you remember the really fancy looking game when they did like some of the PS5 announcements? And it had that woman with a cloak that was like darting through the desert.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called though.
It was almost like a tech demo, and then they released what the game is actually like.
Yeah, they put the name out for it, and I'm sure it was originally called like Project Athena. I'm just going to look it up now, actually.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I'm
Forspoken?
excited for that.
What was that, sorry?
I think it's
Yes,
Forspoken.
that's
Yeah,
it.
that's the one.
It was initially Project Athia.
Close
Close enough.
Same thing.
Very, very close. Yeah, so that I think hopefully we're going to see a bit more from that from Square. I mean, I think Square's got some really good stuff to come out with
Maybe some
this time round.
maybe some more Hawkeye DLC for Avengers. That'd be great.
I mean, yeah, some more. But actually, we've completely missed the rumor that slash an announcement that could be at E3 this year, and that's the new. And this is under Square, the new IO Interactive game. Because isn't there a rumor that they are working on a new secret agent game? So, because they're obviously the Hitman creators, but this is going to be more like a James Bond-esque secret agent game and less like Hitman.
Oh, okay.
So they're taking what they know from building the Hitman worlds and taking it into a story-driven secret agent game.
Yeah.
I'm sure I read that somewhere.
I could go for that. That'd be pretty cool.
So hopefully we'll see something from that because, I mean, I like Hitman, but give me Pierce Brosnan and the Hitman gameplay, and I'm having a whale of a time. Just don't give me Daniel Craig.
No.
I'm not interested in that. I want Pierce Brosnan. It is a James Bond game, I believe. Project
Yeah,
007.
they teased it last year?
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Project 007, a brand new James Bond game to be developed and published by IO Interactive, featuring a wholly original Bond story. Players will step into the shoes of the world's favourite secret agent and earn their 00 status in the very first James Bond origin story.
Cool.
So I am very interested to see what they bring out, because I think, like, you can say what you want about the Hitman games, but they're extremely polished and extremely well done games. And I really enjoy them. So I think I'd be really interested to see how they tackle the James Bond franchise.
Yeah.
The other one is Skull and Bones. Is it still alive?
Yes, it is. I don't know if you saw, but there was an article that came out a few weeks ago that they pushed it another year, but they are still actively developing it.
The last article I read, and I'll admit I didn't see that article, but the last article I did read was that they've completely reworked how it's going to be. Like, it's still a boat game, but it's not going to be a online, like, siege style game like they were originally announcing. That they've completely reworked it from scratch.
They have completely done a lot of reworks, overhauls. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. This game has been in development hell, but they keep on saying that they're committed to it. So,
show us something. Let me know where it's at, because I'm curious. I want to know. I want to know if it still exists. It's been in development hell for like 4 years or something. Like,
it's starting to feel like what was that? What was that game that Xbox had that they that they canceled, the dragon one?
I know what game you mean.
Scaleborn or something like that.
Scalebound, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, like that one. It was just like every year, sign gone.
Yeah, it's going to become the next Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
another
we'll see
one that's just
Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we won't. And then lastly, and this isn't specifically E3, but I kind of want Sony to obviously throw out a state of play, completely shit on everyone, and just throw out some solid God of War 2 content, a teaser to Spider-Man 2, and some solid Horizon content, and just shit on everyone with it. Yeah. That's what I'd like.
They need to.
I think
they do.
And I'll say this, last year with all the conferences and everything, even the conferences that Sony had throughout most of the year, I don't remember most of them wowing me. And I think Sony has the one that usually I can say wows me. At least they did early in the year. Yeah. Give me those games. We know for the next Forbidden West or whatever the hell that game is, Frozen, whatever, that one's coming out this year. But we need God of War, Spider-Man. Show us your IPs. Show us what you got. Same thing with as I was saying with Microsoft, except I know Sony has these bullets in the chamber. Yeah. Shoot me. Give them to me.
I think last year, if I think back to last year, I agree with you. I don't really remember any of it.
I remember more disappointment than excitement last year.
I think I remember more Jeff Keighley than anything. I think my entire year of gaming is just in a bubble of Jeff Keighley's face.
Yeah.
Like, I just
His
can't
face.
think of
I swear to
anything.
God, the dude had a diaper. I swear to God, looking at him, it looked like he had a diaper on or something. It was weird.
I mean, he's a very odd man, isn't he? But yeah, I can't think of any game announcement last year without thinking of Jeff Keighley. And I don't know. I agree with you. Last year was pretty wank, and it'll be nice to see
Yeah.
just like really fucking hit home this year, like really smash it out the park, because like you say, it doesn't feel like that's what's happened here. We've got 2 new consoles and very little has happened since they've come out. Let's just absolutely annihilate it, get those games out and show us what you can do.
Like, there's one thing I always get excited for is a new IP, and then when they show a new IP and it looks fucking amazing, and they're showing gameplay and stuff like that, I'm just like, yes, this is why you come to E3, is like, show me new games, get me excited, and I will buy,
Exactly.
I will buy the games, like, just get me excited for them.
And this is something that comes, from my side. E3 is local to me. It's done at the LA Convention Center. So because I'm in the industry, I get a pass. I'm able to go. Being able to walk up and down the hall, seeing all those indies, seeing all those unique games, being able to see Abzu before it came out and Song of the Deep, all these other games that are smaller. That's what E3 was for me. That's what really kind of excited me as well. And I'm hoping that we get a lot of the smaller stuff as well as the big stuff, because there's some really gems in those smaller games.
Yeah. I always think when I go for like indie games, I always go for think of like Super Meat Boy and like games like that are just like absolute pearls of a game, but just like really small studios, and like, yeah, I get excited for those a lot. And when Nintendo does its thing where it's like, this game's out now, I'll literally be like in the store, like hitting refresh, like I want this game right now because I've just seen it. Like I did it with like so many games.
Yeah.
Yeah, just more of that. Just drop some surprises. Let me play a game straight away that you've been working on. Like,
Hit us with all the good stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, so that's our roundup of our excitement for E3.
I'm pretty excited.
Hope come back in 4 weeks and 3 or 4 weeks, and you can hear us talk about how disappointed we were about E3. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, man, it's exciting.
So it is. Just to tie up the episode, we do have 2 news stories to really quickly touch on. Don't want to go into them in too much detail. Jedi, do you want to hit us with yours first? Because I have no fucking clue what this is about. And when you said it to me earlier, I was like, I don't even. You're not even using English anymore.
So yeah, it's an announcement of a game called Lies of P, and the only way I can boil this down is it is a Bloodborne mashup with Pinocchio. You are.
Oh shit! I did see this.
You are the puppet of a woodshop maker, but you're in this like From Software-ish looking world where it's Bloodborne-ish looking, and you are going up, and I don't know what to do yet. I don't know. All I heard was that crossover. I am so in.
Yeah, 100% down. Prepare to lie.
And the more I watch the trailer, the teaser, and the more that I look at the name, like everything is so. I feel it's so clever. Lies of P. It just. Yes, give me this. You definitely have my interest.
Interesting.
Yeah. More Pinocchio games, please.
Yeah, more Puppet Masters.
I'm so excited
for
for
the
this.
Puppet Masters.
Hopefully we'll see it at E3.
Hopefully.
That'd be amazing.
And so the other news story which we wanted to bring today, which is like I say, a very, very small story, much like this one, is Overwatch 2 had some footage shown the other day, or some gameplay shown the other day, and they've announced some more information, and that there's one key piece of information for anybody that's a fan of Overwatch, and that is that the Overwatch PvP mode is going from 6v6 to 5v5 with Overwatch 2. And as part of that move, you will only be able to have 1 tank per team. So they're dropping the tank numbers, which I think is a good thing. But they've also have stated that they want to make the tank more versatile and useful as currently it's not as
Just a
useful as
bullet
it's.
sponge.
Yeah, it's just not as useful as it's like meant to be.
Yeah.
As they were hoping for it to be. So they're looking at how they can improve the tank's status within the game, and part of that is getting rid of the tank, getting rid of two tanks. So so you've just got the one tank now. It'll be interesting to see how this changes up the game's overall meta going into season 2. Obviously, there's a lot of things in Overwatch 2, that are going to change the meta anyway. But it'll be interesting to see how this specifically changes it, because it's going to be very different to what we're used to.
Yeah,
But I just thought it was worth a mention.
This for us is kind of like a bit of a hit, because a bit of a blow, because Overwatch was one of those games where we all jumped in and we all played it, and 6 aside was like enough to squeeze us all in and play it all.
Yes.
So that for me is a bit of a hit. I did read an article the other day that's saying that the Pro League players are kind of like fearing for their jobs now, because like, they were their second tank and that was their job. So now that's like just been axed basically. But from a gameplay standpoint, I think, and I'll probably be fucking dragged over hot coals for this, but I kind of trust Blizzard, and I feel like from a gameplay wise, they kind of know what they're doing and know where they want to go with this game, and I'm willing to just see how it goes. And
they
trust in Blizzard.
They showed off one of the tanks and how that tank would work. So they showed off is it Zen? Oh, what's her name? The big lady. Yeah, Zaya. They showed her off and her new abilities. So as well as having all the core abilities she's already got, one of the new things she'll be able to do is double shield. So she can apply 2 shields to herself or to other people, or one to her, one to another. Like, she basically just gives her more ability to put shields on people. Just to add that versatility element to her. And then they were changing the way that her gun works as well, so that she could be a little bit more involved in games overall.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's when you look at the tanks, I know they're changing the way that Winston's power works, because they've mentioned him. I mean, I've always been a bit of a diva player. I'll be interested to see how they're going to rework her to suit this new setup. But yeah, interesting. I mean, again, Overwatch 2 has been coming for 2 years now?
Yeah.
Since they first announced it, and we've yet to actually see any real sort of solid, this is when it's coming out and this is what you need to know. So it'll be interesting to see where they're going to go with it. But yeah. That's the news story, basically.
Yeah. Overwatch doing Overwatch things. You got any thoughts on Overwatch Jedi?
It's a good idea. I think it reduces the amount of people you need to get queued up for a match. I think not many people wanted to be a second tank. From what I've heard. And I'm also with you. I trust them to balance it to a point where losing that tank doesn't completely lopside the meta. I'll trust them to be able to balance it. So I want to see how it is. I want to see how it goes. And of course, if it is terrible and not received, they'll change it and they'll add that 6 back in.
Yeah. I think Overwatch, like, that studio has always been great at adapting and changing and trying new things and seeing when they work and when they don't, and then fixing that.
Yeah. I think you're right in that the Blizzard have always been good at balancing and adjusting and balancing and adjusting. They've never got it perfect, but they're quick to react when they know they're fucked up. So I'm fairly confident it'll be solid. And if it maintains the charm and fun of the first one, then it'll be great.
Yeah, it's definitely a game I'll be buying. I'm just into Overwatch, so it's whatever direction they go with it, it'll still be a day one for me.
Yeah, definitely. True that. Jedi, do you have something you were going to say then?
Oh, nothing. Just I fully agree. I trust them. Give them time to cook it. They've proven they can give out a game that's good, and they've proven they know how to tweak it. So let's see what it is when it releases, and I'm there day one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, on that note, then, do you want to wrap up the episode, Mike?
Yeah, so that was it. That was the episode. Join us next week when we have Paul Foxhound. He's a Twitch streamer, a Yorkshire lad, which we won't hold it against him, but he'll be here next week talking games and streaming probably. We'll do like a little interview with him, get to know him. I hope you enjoyed the episode. You can catch us in Discord and Twitter and all those socials. You can find like all the links for that below. And yeah, that's been us. So we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Triple XD. Triple XD. Triple XD.